Cast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello everyone. Just doing some pre-start info here. Just you can type in. I just want to make sure that you can hear me okay and that you can see my screen. And you can type in where you see the little hand. You don't have to raise the hand, but there is a section for where you guys can type in and ask questions. Just want to make sure you guys are hearing me. Kristen, hello. Just type in if you can hear me and if you could see my screen, and we're about to start. Just a few. Audio's great. Thanks, Russell. Anyone else? Hello, Darcy. Could you guys also write in? I would love to know where you guys are writing from in the world. Maybe what time zone. Let's see if we have anybody from overseas. Maybe my neighbor is on. Chicago in the house. CST. Michigan. Kristen's from Jersey. I know that. Anyone else? It's where you would type in a question if you're not finding it. Anyone else? I see a few more people on, and we're going to give them a few more minutes. Short Hills, New Jersey, welcome. Tinton Falls, Kristen. I'm going to give a few more minutes for, of course, the latecomers because they're 60 some people are registered for today. So I'm just going to check in with you guys, make sure the audio is okay. And so is the video. Can you guys all see my screen as well? And keep on typing in where you guys are from. Yes, if you see white screen with the title of a webinar, oh, hold on then. You're not seeing my desktop at this time? Oop, okay, there we go. See, thank you. I was about to start without clicking on that share my screen. No desktop. Here we go. Thanks, guys. Dawn is in the house. Perfect. Awesome. Dawn, let us know where you're writing from. Is it PA? Dawn Stevens. Yes, Kristen, now you see my screen. Anyone else? It is Fuse. New Jersey, Dawn. Okay, why did I think you were in PA? Let's see. Awesome. A few more people are trickling in, and we're about to get started. I'm glad you guys can hear me okay and can see my screen. And happy Monday from wherever you are in the world right now. So there's going to be certain moments in this presentation I definitely would love for you guys to look at my screen. I know many of you are probably doing other things. You might be editing or you might be at a day job. And believe me, I've been there and I would sign up to every single webinar I could. And as long as I could listen, that would be great. But there are certain points in the presentation that I will need you to look at the screen and actually get access. I know exactly how many of you are looking at the screen or not. So that's pretty cool of these webinars that we could do. So, all right, so it is 12:03. I'm just going to give 2 more minutes. So anybody want to share with me what are you guys doing right now? Anyone in their day job sneakily listening in? Are you editing? What else are you doing at this time? And no one can see your answers. I'm the only one that can see it. So don't be afraid to chime in. Booking rental car for Florida this weekend. Oh, I wish I was in Florida this weekend. Hiding from my kids. You sound like me. I don't know if I'm going to pronounce your name right. Malika? Maybe it's Malika. Let me know if I got it right. From New Jersey. Malika, yes? I'm trying to figure out how to add my business to Google+. Cool. It's a pain. It can be, yeah. In Google Plus, you can create a business profile. Is that what you mean, Kristen? And you could also add your Google Plus ID in your WordPress. There are some plugins for that as well. All right. Oh, Dawn, sorry to hear that. She says healing from an injury. Sorry to hear that. Awesome. All right, we're about to get started. I'm really excited about some information I want to share with you, and I really appreciate your time of being here with me, and I want to honor your time because I know we're all very busy. And I kind of really love this topic that we have today. So here we go. And remember, at any point, if you have any questions, you just type it in the question box, and I'm the only person that sees it, and I'll try and reread your question and be able to answer it. We will also have lots of Q&A at the end as well. All right. Okay, here we go. So today's topic is how to book new wedding venues and also new clients using SEO, or some basic principles of SEO, by me. My name is Fusa, and we are doing a Twitter contest of a really cool prize, which I'm not going to reveal what the prize is yet, so you really have to stick to the end to find out what the prize is. But in order to be able to participate in this contest, you have to tweet something about the class, or that you're learning, or that you're just excited to be here. And the hashtag is, which is the number sign, get found with Fuse. And that's Fuse. Actually, use an S instead of a Z. So tweet away your just comments or something that you want to learn, etc. So it is hashtag get found with Fuse. And after this is done, I will be picking a winner of a really cool prize. So I suggest you stick to the end so you can find out what that prize is. And I'm just going to do a little quick poll to see how many of you are completely new maybe to wedding photography, or you've been at it a little longer and you're just really wanting to get into some other venues that you had been wanting to for a while. So let me just ask you a little quick poll. If you guys can answer it, that would be great. So you're viewing now the poll. Please answer it. Let's take a few minutes to answer it. 20% of you have voted. I love seeing this. 40% have voted. 47. Come on. Just a quick, simple, easy answer. Just so I know where most of you guys are, if we have more folks on here that are newer to the wedding industry, or some that are older, just so I know which kind of side to cater to as far as giving more input and answering more questions. All right, let me give you another just 15 seconds. And again, this is just to see where you're at as far as how long you've been photographing weddings, etc. Because I remember when I first started, I was so thirsty to book weddings. I just wanted to do it all. And it was tough, and that's why I'm hosting this webinar. All right, I'm going to close the poll now. Thank you for your answers. And I actually will share the results so you guys could see. So I see pretty much half of you are between 2 and 4 years, and some are more. About 18%, 27% are new. So fairly new to mid, I would say. All right, great. Thank you so much for answering that. Excuse me. All right. So don't forget to tweet though. Okay, so just a little background about me. What am I all about, and how in the world did we get here to today, actually? So my name is Fusa. My close friends call me Fuse, so that's where the hashtag, also the website with my SEO related stuff comes from. And I'm a mother of 2 really awesome boys, Lucas and Josh. They're less than 2 years apart, and right now they're 6 and 8 years old. And when I started my business, I started 5 years ago. So Josh was maybe 1.5. He was definitely not 2 yet, and Lucas was almost 3. So they were pretty much 1 year and 2 years old. And being at home, when I started, we were really just broke. We were broke financially. We were in a bad spot. Not too long after, we lost our home to short sale. So financially, there was really not much I could do in order to promote my business. And I really became stumped very easily because I started within my own Brazilian community, and they were actually really just not my ideal clients. They really didn't value the kind of work that I wanted to do, and the kind of price that I wanted to charge. So I really wanted to figure out, okay, now that I've photographed all my friends and all my family, How do I get new clients? Like, how does that happen? Especially with wedding clients, I was like, I have a website. Why aren't they coming? What is going on? Like, I should be getting new bookings. So I was really stumped. So I was broke. I was confused as how that was going to happen. But I did have a good tip from a friend who just said, because at the time, remember, there were no Facebook groups. You couldn't ask all these lovely questions that you guys have access to today. She was like, well, follow a few bloggers, wedding, photographers, and they give some tips. And I started reading up more and more. But I quickly dove into social media, mainly Twitter at the time, because I saw the social media was a great way to just discover new vendors, discover, wedding industry professionals, and it was free. It was free. And about 2 years into really deep into social media, I discovered SEO, and I say it was love at first sight. When someone told me that there were things that I could do on my website, on my blog, that perfect strangers on Google could find me and book me, it was like I heard angels singing, you know what I'm saying? Amen. So I was really excited about that, and I just started learning really practical and easy tips from SEO, and that's how we're here today. Today I'm sharing information. I like to give tips. I also have a cool boot camp that I'll tell you about at the end of this presentation. So that is really how I got into online marketing and SEO out of necessity, and then out of curiosity. And today I have to say I'm very passionate about it, and I get to use what I've learned to help others fulfill their dreams and to get booked and to get new clients and to live the life they want to live. So it's a pretty great combination if you ask me. All right. So that's the website I found with Fuse, which I'll share also at the end. All right. So I quickly realized when I wanted to get into wedding photography, I started with portraits, which I kind of hated at the time. And I knew I always wanted to get into wedding photography, but I didn't know how. And I kept saying, I'm working, I'm doing everything everyone's saying. What is the deal? So it was around, I think, October 2010 or 9, I believe, maybe 10. I kind of figured out, I attended a workshop by Dane Sanders. And hold on, I'm sorry, I just got to know, are you guys having audio issues? Just checking in real quick. Nope, audio's fine. Okay, that's weird. I just got just a random, thank you, Kathleen and Russell. I just got a random message from GoToWebinar. All right, great. Moving on, where was I? Okay, so I attended, so at the time also I was into getting a lot of information for free. I was also into, if I saw any great speakers coming into town, I always offered to host, to help in order to attend workshops for reduced price or for free. And that's a great tip for you if you're just starting out, if you don't have a lot of finances to attend some workshops you would like. A lot of the speakers will do that, especially if you help them out. So I attended Dane Sanders. I hosted the roadshow, the New York Roadshow. And at the workshop, I had this like just great aha moment. I realized that I was complaining and whining about not booking any weddings, but I was not in front of brides at all. So how was I expected to book weddings? I thought just because I had a website, and a blog, that they should be like coming, they should be flocking. And that really that really wasn't happening. And then I started to brainstorm, and I'm like, okay, I'm in New Jersey. Where do I think the brides are where I live? And I want to ask you guys now, I want to do just another poll, and I want to ask you also, where do you think brides are at in your local market? Because this really changes by market, I feel, and even country. So I'm going to ask you a really quick question. Where do you think the brides are in your market? And maybe there's another reply. There could be another category that hadn't, been thinking about. So where do you think the brides are going to plan their wedding and hire their vendors? Maybe I should have added wedding wire as one. So remember, think about your local market, not necessarily, what other people are saying in other places. I'm going to give you a few more seconds for that. So I realized I was definitely not in front of them, and I wanted to get in front of them. So I felt like I had to figure that out, of where they were. And I brainstormed kind of this list that I'm sharing with you guys right now. And thank you so much, for filling it out. If just a few more of you could fill it out, that would be great, because only about 60% filled it out. It's just a little quick survey. If you could fill that out really quick. I'm going to give you 10 more seconds. All right, let's close it out. So most of you have said that they are on Google. Some of you have said that they're reading the bridal magazines. So I'll share the results with you guys, what you guys have answered. And for me at the time, what I saw was, maybe I did put the internet. I put bridal shows, and I really didn't know, to be honest, or I thought I knew, and I had to test out the waters. I had to test out, and that's something I recommend for you guys, to do a little survey or to get out there in each of the area that you think where they are, to go check it out. If you don't want to do a bridal show, attend one. See the kind of brides that are there. I honestly don't like bridal shows in New Jersey, but I have a lot of friends in PA, not too far away. I like their bridal shows there, and they have a lot of success. There's people in New York that have a lot of success, Canada, California. So it really depends where you live, the quality of the bridal show and the leads that will be there. So, think about your city, your county. Some of you guys are in really big cities, that maybe have subregions in your state, in your country. So have you experimented marketing to them where they're at? And that's what I realized, that I wasn't in front of them and that I needed to do that. And of course, the next challenge was how to do that. Kristen said, most of mine have been word of mouth, Facebook, friends of my clients see the photos I've taken. Awesome. I also think Darcy said, in a big city, Style Me Pretty is huge, as well as wedding planners. Darcy, are you in Chicago? I forgot you answered this before. Where did Darcy say she was at? Let me see. Yes, Chicago. Okay, yeah, big city. Okay. Yeah, so this will depend. This will be, vary from geographic region for sure. So another great tip from a famous photographer was from Mike Cologne, when he said, so this was another big aha moment for me, own your zip code. By owning your zip code means, like, do people in your town, your neighbors, or your whole town know that you're a wedding photographer? Do they know what you do? And do you know what they do? So who is who in your local market? Who are the florists? Who are the planners? Who are the top venues? What about other wedding vendors, or, the invitation person, stationery? I can't think of other vendors now. The DJ, the bands. Who else? Help me out, folks. Who else can we know? Try to figure out who is who in our town. Just in general, the wedding vendors. Like, do you know who's who in your local market? And I realized that I didn't. And I realized that I needed to know that for myself. So I went after who was hosting the in-person networking events. And do they know who you are, and what do you do? That is the question for you, and you get to take little notes. Kate, yes, thank you, Jessica. Nice to have you on. Take some notes as some action plans for you. Put yourself out there, and we're going to talk about this right now. Get off the computer and hit the pavement. First things first, okay? Some people are like, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? I think in this case, when we're trying to get into new wedding venues, online is great, but I'll teach you how. But the first thing, you have to hit the pavement. You have to get off the Facebook groups, get off, the computer, and really put yourself out there. So I'm going to talk a little bit now about some tactics for simple networking. To be really honest, networking kind of like creeps me out. I'm a very social person, but for some reason, like, networking events sometimes feels like a meat market. And as I'm getting older, I feel like they're harder. I feel like it's dating. Maybe because I've been married for almost 10 years. I feel like it's dating again. It's like, hi, how are you? It's like two unemployed people. Like, hey, what are you doing? I don't know. Do you guys feel that way? Do you love networking events? Is it just maybe it's just me? I'm not sure. Chime on in. I would love to hear your ideas. But so my approach to networking was this, and I'm going to share with you what I did and what worked and what I feel like still works. And can you guys still hear me okay? Just say yes. Just want to make sure I didn't lose you since nobody answered. Yep. Okay, perfect. Awesome. So I guess everyone here loves networking events? Let me know. Be honest. Nobody could see your answer. I won't read your name. All right. But for me, it's stressful. Somebody said it's stressful because it means I have to put myself out there with confidence. I agree. That's a hard thing to do sometimes. Um, I love networking, but my husband does not. So sometimes when you have a duo group, I don't really go to them often. It makes me feel like I'm whoring myself. Yes, that's it. I'm like, hey, can I have your number? It's like I'm married. I don't need to do that. So it does creep me out. He's the artsy one. I don't mind them. It's just finding the quality networking events. Agreed. That's another issue, Darcy, that I think. So here is what I did for me and that it worked. And if you don't like them as much as moi over here, this is what I did. This is what you can do as well. So attend networking events in the beginning of the year. So what I did was I'm like, okay, I got to get out there, but let's remember, I was mad broke. I'm like broke, if you want to throw out some broke jokes, like we were broke. So I did discover some networking events, but they all cost money. They all would be like, if you're not a member, it's $45. And the problem with New Jersey is everything's really spread apart, so it's far away. So most of the networking events were 40 minutes away from me. So sometimes it's not that I didn't have the money to attend them. I didn't have the gas money, believe it or not. Remember, mom, two very small kids, no other job. Back up my story a little bit. I actually had a full-time job, but they were not family friendly. My kids were getting a lot of ear infections at the time, and I was like being called in the office. It was like inaccessible because I was off one day because I didn't have anybody to stay with my son. So I said, let me just take the summer off, right? And I'm still looking for that job because the economy hit. So I never got a job back. So I'm home, I'm broke, and I want to get out there. How do you do this? How do you connect with wedding vendors, and how do you go to these events? So I discovered some associations that do host networking events every month. So what I did was I like the first 2 months of the year, and you guys could still do this. I say it's good to do it before wedding season start. Just attend as many as you can. Once I started attending these networking events, I started introducing myself, and you start seeing the same people over and over. So it was easier to start up a conversation next time. I approached a photographer who actually ended up being a great mentor. And my third wedding ever actually was a destination wedding. And this person I met at a networking event voluntarily went to this destination wedding with me, covered his own flight, and has been a great mentor ever since. So I've definitely made some great connections with them. But I also started looking at like, okay, I don't want to just meet a wedding planner, but I want to meet a wedding planner that's going to have a very similar style or vision that I do. So sometimes it's really easy to say, hey, I want to work with um, a high-end, wedding planner and things like that. But we don't even know what that means. Like they could be a classic one and your style is edgy, it's fun, it's different. So finding people, once you start attending events, you kind of have a feel for their style. And then what you can do when you get home, when you connect with a few of these people, you're going to definitely start following them online. And somebody wrote like fear of judgment. Yes, confidence when like I was going out there. Okay, guys, if you saw my business card, it's so laughable. It used to be called Fusion Creations, right? Because like 8 years ago, I used to do invites and favors and all this stuff. And I thought it'd be really cool to mash all that up together with photography. So it was a photo of a camera, okay? Photo of a camera called Fusion Creations. It was ugly. All right. But I was still going out there. It's still important to go, even if you don't have the best website, even if you don't have the best card or the best portfolio, or you're still growing your portfolio, it's still important to attend. So then you start seeing them who's online. All right. So I kind of did that intensely for 2 months, and then I was like, hey, I got small kids and no money to attend more of these events. But I started following all of the people that I wanted to connect with and see what they were doing on Twitter. And it actually was more Twitter than Facebook, but today you do have Facebook. And then what you could do later in the year, all these associations have, and I'm going to share with you which ones that I suggest. They have state conferences and galas. So also some of these events sometimes need a photographer. Here we go. You could always offer your photography services in exchange to attend, and you could attend for free and network and provide them with your awesome photography as well. So there was a state conference for one of them, and I offered to be a sponsor. So I had to pay for my hotel, but of course I found a roommate and all about budgeting. And that was a great time because I got one-on-one time with a certain wedding planner that still sends me business till this day. So connect again if you can towards the fall or the end of the year. Now, the networking. Here we go. These associations, I'm not sure of overseas in Canada, but in the United States, they're national associations. So you have the ABC, which is the Association of Bridal Consultants. You have ICES, which is more of an event industry, but they're really cool. They have great events. NACE is a catering event, but they also have really cool just really cool presentations and different topics every month. And sometimes you could even be part of their panel if they're looking for a photographer or if you have an area of expertise that you could share with them. And if you guys know of any others, please write in. Very important thing about networking events too that I feel, and if somebody is part of one, please don't be offended. A lot of networking events of people who attend them like 100 days a year is because they don't have clients. I'm sorry. They're not booking. That's why they're always at those events. So just be really careful that you don't get sucked into always sponsoring, always helping, always giving of yourself. Because yes, I want you to be a resource, but you also have to surround yourself with doers and the people that are booking and people that are going out there and being productive. It's easy to get sucked into, I'll just attend another event, and not book. So I won't say more about that, but that's just my 2 cents. So again, get off the computer, hit the pavement. Be a resource. You always have to approach people of how you can help them and not how they can help you. But do that genuinely, not forceful, and this kind of comes and happens naturally as well. So are you being a resource for vendors that you want to work with is the question. Do you follow them? And by being a resource, you don't necessarily have to go and photograph their whole family all year round, but do you follow them? Do you retweet? Do you promote them as much as possible online? Are you following these people online is the question. So how do I get in the door? This is what I was told when I started and what did not work for me at all. So email them, dear wedding planner, my name is Fusa. I am new in the wedding photography industry and I would love to meet you up for coffee. That did not work for me. I'm sorry, it sounds like a creeper. Like to me, that wedding planner is like, she wants something for me. She wants to get on my list. Like it's just not working. So that didn't work. I'm not saying any of these don't work, and they do, and they can. It just didn't work for me. This is my personal experience. Call them out of the blue. Hey, I don't know you. I mean, but if you did meet them at the networking event, you can call them and invite them for coffee. The chances of them actually picking up the phone and answer you and saying yes, I'm not sure. Maybe, again, some of you have had good experiences with this. I haven't. Give them a canvas, a book, postcards. And we're going to go back to this because I think this works only if something else happens. So have you ever visited a venue or a place where they have like, I don't know, like 20 albums there? Most of them are black. So if you do an album from them, do it like a funky color so you stand out, FYI. But they're just kind of like thrown there. Or maybe they don't hang the canvas. So I've done everything. I've given books. I've given postcards. To different kind of wedding industry folks, and I do think it works, but I think something else has to be done first. And this is what I believe has to be done first. You have to promote them online, and they won't be able to ignore you. They can ignore an email, they can ignore a call, they can ignore a book, a canvas, whatever, but they can't ignore you online because it's public. The whole world is seeing that they tweeted to you, that they sent you some information, that you've sent them some information, that you've blogged about their venue, that you're saying how awesome they are, that you're promoting them, giving them high fives, and there's no way they can ignore you. Does that make sense? Right? They can't, because it's public. They can't. The staff can't. The event manager won't be able to. All right, so more on that. And this is how you're going to, and we're going to get a little bit nitty gritty here about some SEO things that you could do. So I'm going to launch just another poll just to see if some of you do have any SEO knowledge, just out of my curiosity to see how much I can share with you today. So please answer that. How much do you know about SEO and SEO, search engine optimization? Again, it's the things that we can do for our blogs and websites so we can be found online by Google, by people searching a few things. Let me have a sip of water. I love it. Kathleen Atkins says, yes, we do bright colored albums, bright pink, orange, and lime green. Yep, stand out from the 20 black albums, right? Awesome. All right, so most of you said that you have done some optimizing on your own. About a quarter of you have not done anything at all. So a bit more than half, just a little bit. Thank you for answering that. So I'm going to share with you some tips of wedding venues you have worked at before, and then brand new wedding venues that you have not worked at all, right? So we always have to remember, promote them online and they won't be able to ignore you. So here are the tips for the wedding venues you have worked at. So when you do a new wedding, and maybe some of you have been doing this already, if you haven't, I want to share with you, and this is an SEO tip. So instead of having the wedding called, so this couple you see here actually was at Loretta Winery, a great wedding venue that I hope to book more weddings at. And their names are Kristen and John. So instead of, for the images I'm going to save for my blog and my slideshow, which I actually put those in one folder, instead of renaming them, Christina and John, I'm going to rename them the wedding venue, because what do brides search for online first? What do they search first? They search the wedding venue, right? And I want to be found. I want to be found when they don't even know they're looking for me. I just photographed a surprise engagement proposal this past Saturday because I blogged one proposal I did last year, and I renamed the images New York Surprise Proposal, and this is how this guy found me. It works. It's called SEO, and this is how you get ranked, okay? So you rename your images with the wedding venue name, plus the word wedding, plus the word photos. I have this as part of my workflow, and I wrote a great article for the Tiffin box that you could read, and you could get step-by-step tutorial on how to do this, but I'll show you a little bit. So right in Lightroom, when I pick my photos that I want to use for the blog post and the slideshow, I'm already renaming those photos to the venue, and I hope you guys could see this, because I hope you could see it. But right in Lightroom, I have a folder called blog within, my client folder, and I'm going to rename it right from there, and it's going to be called the wedding venue, and use dashes, please, because it does help in ranking. Each word actually, dash it out. So Berkeley hotel wedding photos. So for that Loretta Winery, I would do Loretta winery wedding photos, or wedding pictures, wedding photographer sometimes, but I think people are looking for photos, right? When you find a new venue, usually their websites sometimes suck. So people are going to go and Google, not underscore dashes, Kristen. Thank you for asking. So people are going to go on Google and look for further photos. So you want to come up in those results. This is why we are renaming the images. So I rename and I do export, and all these images are going to have a unique name because of the number attached to the end. It's going to be 01, 02, 03, and so forth. Then when I blog, and I did a mistake here actually, and I'll share with you what the mistake is. When I upload to WordPress, this is how the photos come up. So the title is already done for me, and it's already optimized because I've done that from my Lightroom. The alternate text, since I have to be real, Like, I don't do it perfectly, but it still works. And I'm a busy, individual. And sometimes I'm just lazy, to be honest, because it is a lot of hard work, this whole SEO and blogging thing. So I copy and paste from the title, and I copy and paste to the alternate text. So when blogging, the three things you need to fill out that are really important for SEO is the title, the alt text, and the description. The alt text usually should be a little bit more about like what the image is about, and then the alt text you could really put photo about, engagement couple at Revel. So Revel is a really cool new casino, and the mistake I did here is I used the word session, and I shouldn't use the word session. Does anybody know why? And great question, Darcy. I'll answer it. No, because nobody uses the word session. We have to stop thinking like photographers, and we have to start thinking like clients. Like words like lifestyle, day after, even first look. It's industry words. Like your brand new client doesn't know. So if I were right now to search, let's say like I don't know, something my car broke. I have no idea what it's about, and I have to search. I'm not gonna use the term session. I mean, whatever. Um, to be honest. So not that people won't know or won't look for it. I just don't think it's the first thing that they are looking for. And everyone, Darcy says everyone uses session. Do you mean photographers or clients? The word portrait, for example, is a little bit more common because of places like JCPenney Portrait Studio and things like that. And it's not when our clients see that word, they don't know what it is, but they're really not Googling, from my experiences, the word session. So if you think like a client, photos, pictures, even pics misspelled, that not even photography. So a really so a keyword that I found that actually is a really great keyword that I found that people use a lot is this: photos of engagement pictures. We have to think like our client. Our clients have never done this, right? So clients, if client wants engagement session ideas, they are Googling photos of engagement pictures. So we got to use more common words. So this is the mistake that I feel like that I've done here. I should have done photos, because I think people are use that word a lot more often. Jessica asked, so they don't call it that. A brand new client might not know that that's called a session. When they hear it, they'll know, but that's not what they're Googling. There was a question. Darcy asked, is this also helpful on Facebook, or just talking about pertaining to blog? It's helpful on blog and a website. I actually do think it's helpful. It can be helpful on Facebook, because Facebook is having a brand new search graph where they're going to be doing a lot more search engine stuff inside of it. If it comes up in your copyright information, I would take that out. Like, that would just look odd to me. So I hope that answers your question. They don't search styled shoe. No, but they'll search, if you do a styled shoe, let's say if you do a Great Gatsby style shoe, they will search Great Gatsby inspiration or Great Gatsby photos, or the 20s photos and things like that. Okay, awesome. So moving on. So I should have put here, so I did put in description. So for the descriptions, you take out the dashes and you write more of like just a phrase. So Revel engagement photos by New Jersey photographer. I kind of added another keyword in there, which is New Jersey photographer, Fuseries. But honestly, what I do for my whole blog post, I just copy and paste these over and over. When I do weddings, like sometimes I'll do, if it's like a white and purple bouquet, I get a little bit more detail with the alternate text or the description sometimes, because I know with Pinterest and even with wedding blogs, like the brides are really getting into, vintage, like these words of like more of like types and color schemes, palettes and inspiration, etc. So how to blog those venues. So the venues you have worked at and you're about to blog, we renamed those images, we imported them, add the info of the venue right away. If you can add that it was at such and such venue within the first two lines of your blog post, that would be great. Always hyperlink it to them, because if they're reading their Google Analytics, they're going to see who is linking back to them. And linking back is always great for marketing and SEO. And I love adding that line to them later. Oh, yes, I linked to you. It's great. Did you know that it's great for SEO? And you could sound like their marketing expert. And then another SEO tip is adding their full address at the bottom of your blog post. And that has to do with local search and Google Places and things like that. I don't necessarily always add it at the bottom because I kind of forget, or add the full address, I kind of forget. But it's kind of like when you have that list of vendors, just for the venue, add their address if you could. And now, thank you. Well, the webinar is not done, but this is the perfect timing to announce the giveaway. Today's giveaway is actually, you're going to get a 15-word keyword list from me that I feel that are core keywords. The problem with a lot of us in blogging is that we're using the wrong keywords to get found by our clients. We're thinking like photographers and not like our clients. So the giveaway is going to be a 15 keyword list given by me, and I'll actually even look up where you're located and might add a few more in relation to where you're located. So don't forget to tweet. Just tweet something that you're learning about today's webinar, and the hashtag is GetFoundWithFuse, F-U-S-E. So don't forget to tweet. And then we are going to, of course, tweet to them. We're going to Facebook the blog post. Again, they can't ignore that. They have to retweet. They have to add it as a favor. And their wedding vendors and people following them and brides following them will see. I booked a wedding. It was for video at one of my favorite wedding venues just because I tweeted to them the video we did of that place, and they retweeted. That's how the bride found me. So these are ways that we're going to get out there, and that people that are wanting to book at those venues could find us, and that the venues won't be able to ignore us. All right, so what about brand new venues? So with brand new venues, this is my approach, or venues I've only photographed maybe 1 or 2 weddings and I really want to photograph more. So I want to promote them on my blog or website. So what you can do, and I'm not saying this is mandatory, but this also will help with, and it's SEO related, is you could create a new page on your blog, on website, or both, and you could call it venues, or your top 5 venues. Maybe take a blog post, do a blog post, top 5 Chicago venues, the top 10 unique Chicago venues, and put your list, and you could say why. And then when you could take that blog post and you can make that a page on your website and have a link. If you go to my website, which is a mess by the way, but I do have a thing called Unique New Jersey Venues at the bottom. And I know from my analytics that gets clicked on a lot, and I'm found in Google because of that list, because brides are looking for venues all the time. So if there's a really fabulous venue, right, and you want to work with them and you want to promote them on your blog and your website, and you want to rename the images, but wait, you don't have any images from that place. So you're not going to take somebody else's work, right? At all. Sorry, let me just stop for a question. Amanda asked, by full address, do you mean the street address? Yes, Amanda. At the end of the blog post, if you could add the full address, because that has to do with Google Places and Maps, if that makes any sense. So yes. Darcy, what if we don't tweet? Get on Twitter, girl. Twitter is great for Twitter to me is not really for it's really for connecting with wedding industry folks. That's really like it's better than Facebook in my opinion. Like I think it's more quality wedding industry folks that are on Twitter, and not necessarily wedding folks just whining and complaining that they have no business on private Facebook groups. So that's just from my experience. And Twitter, I have to go back to Twitter. I really have been tweeting as much, and it's really great for that. And that's what, like, Twitter was like, I won like $1,000 in products on Twitters in the past, and it's really what helped me connect with some really awesome vendors in New Jersey and New York and even Philly. So now we're gonna email them, but we're not gonna be the creep anymore. Instead, hold on. I'm going to show you. We're going to say this. Hi there. We're featuring you on, hi so-and-so. my name, well, actually, I left out, my name is so and so. I'm a wedding photographer here, and we are featuring you on my wedding blog website as one of the top wedding venues in town, which is also great for SEO. But I realize I don't have any photos of your venue. Would it be okay for me to stop by and take some of outside or any rooms you would like to be featured, and you guys can make your own email? This is just a sample. What is the best day of the week that works for you? So between this email and the email that we said, hey, do you want to go out for coffee? Can I stop by? Which one do you think they're going to answer to? I say this one because I'm providing them with something. First of all, I've caught their eye with that word SEO. Okay, that's number one. Secondly, I caught their eye with I'm saying I'm going to feature them. Third, I'm giving them pictures of their location, which they always love more and more and more. All right. Or you could also say, hey, I don't have any picture. I realize I don't have any pictures of your lovely venue, but it's definitely one on my top list. I would love to do a styled engagement or a wedding shoot, like a styled shoot there. Real simple, nothing crazy, more to showcase your awesome premises. What day of the week would work best for you? They're not going to ignore you. Unless they're really stuck up, they're not going to ignore you. So this is it, guys. This is like my secret sauce of how you can get into the door, how you can be a resource, and how you could promote them so that they can't ignore you. So there was a question here by Darcy. Do you think Twitter can help you with children's photography as well? I think it can, yes, definitely, because there's so many new magazines now, children's clothing line, fashion. Someone to follow in New Jersey who's doing really great work with children is Ava Martinez. She has I think it's like a magazine now, really cool. I love her idea. I love what she's doing in that industry. So yes, I really think it can. All right, so this is it. So you're being a resource to them and you're reaching out to them. And even if they're like, don't give you the time of day and you just go out and you just film, you just photograph the building outside, at least now you have pictures of your own that you can rename and blog, etc., right? And be found online by not even photographing, having done a wedding in that place. So it's awesome. So you're going to get your blog post and your webpage right away. Okay. You're going to tweet to them on Twitter. Congratulations on being featured on my website as one of the top blank, fill in the blank wherever you guys are located venues. And you're going to post it on their Facebook business page. All right. Then you're going to email them the post. Thank you so much for allowing me to photograph at your place. Here is the link. So, it's getting a link back is great for SEO. Let me know and then offer them if you need anything else, photography related, etc. So I don't know how it works where you guys work, but in New Jersey, unfortunately, sometimes for you to be on the vendors page or list, you have to pay. And I have a theory about being on the vendor list, but that can be amazing. That could also give you nothing. I've been on a list where, I was really naive and I wanted to book so many weddings and this venue wanted 10%, which is a lot of money, to be honest. I suggest you could give credit. I mean, the true authentic people you want to work with won't ask you for money, but of course you're always going to take care of them and vice versa. So the quality of leads coming from this place sucked. They were horrendous. And I told them, I was like, hey, sorry, it's just a tough economy. I really can't do this 10% cash thing, etc. And I think doing something like this is even more effective than being on a list or paying to be on the list, to be honest, because that coordinator, if they're going to love you, if you're going to promote them, or the director, they're going to be talking about you. You can't be ignored, like I said. All right, like I said, promote them online and they won't be able to ignore you. So just a little recap here. Rename your images with wedding venue plus wedding plus photos. Link their venue on your blog posts. Add their full address at the bottom of your blog post. Tweet to them, Facebook them. The more you promote venues and wedding vendors online, the more they're going to know who the hell you are. And even the ones that don't like me here in the local industry, because I do have very strong opinions sometimes about these networking events or just the New Jersey industry in general, maybe they don't like me, but they know who I am and they're following me. I can't be ignored. Of course, you're not trying to piss people off, and neither am I, but that's just a point I want you to make. So the thing with renaming your images too, and you guys could do this later, Google also under images, that venue, plus the word wedding photo. See who's coming up. See if they've renamed their images, and most likely they have. I book out of state people that are from out of state that want to have engagement sessions just because they got engaged or they need save the dates. They don't have a wedding photographer yet. I booked many engagement sessions like that because I rename my photos engagement dash photographer dash, or Jersey City dash engagement dash photos, or photographer, or if it's a national park, a famous place, etc. All right, question from Malika. How would you rename portraits, not weddings, on your blog? I am a child photographer. Also think like a client. Client uses the words more what? Kids. So that's getting into like the keyword strategy, which you can use Google keywords to look up yourself, but use a variation. Stop thinking like the industry, portrait session, lifestyle, couture, whatever. Start thinking like the real mom. What, like, I need a photographer, I need a kids photographer, baby photographer. If you do newborn, the word newborn is pretty client friendly, and things like that. So you got to think like the client. Ask your past clients, if you were to look for a photographer today, what would you be searching? Also, when Google has something called suggestive search. When you start Googling something, you guys know like that list that comes up, like they think almost they're trying to answer what you're Googling. That's a sign of what people have been searching in the past. So use those words as well. The key is use alternate keywords to get ranked and be found by Google. All right, so I hope that answers your question. And then now I could get them some products. So now that I've, blogged about them, now that I've shouted out to the world, now that the world knows that, I think they're awesome on Twitter, on Facebook, now if I bring them a canvas or a book or even just, postcards, they're going to probably cost me 30 something dollars. Now that's a whole different story. So I've had success that way, but I haven't had success. Any people that I've brought products to that I don't have a previous relationship with, or maybe that like I don't follow them, or I mean I don't promote them online, it just doesn't work. Like it just gets, whatever. They're probably handing out the postcards. Maybe they're not even. So this is the best way I found that has worked for me. And I know I can't get into everything that, times like flying that I wanted to get into. But these are some basic SEO principles that if you guys put this into action will definitely help you. But of course, there's a lot more. Just like Malika asked, what are the keywords I use for portrait? Because this can be done for other things. So I do have a Get Found bootcamp that I'm starting, my second one. I want to tell you guys just a little bit about it. I know it's not for everyone, but if you are looking into get optimized and learn more about SEO, this would be great for you. So let me tell you a little bit about the bootcamp, and I hope you guys have enjoyed today's webinar, and I hope you've, this has been some good tips for you guys to put into practice, and I would love to hear results later too. So my bootcamp is a 4-week online bootcamp, and week 1 we talk about all optimizing our website for SEO. What are the words that we need to answer? What are the things that we need to put in there to get ranked by Google? And Show It website is a great example for that, and they have great sections for that. But everything online, even your Zenfolio account, even your Smug account, I don't know if you guys knew, but has really great SEO capabilities, and there are changes that you can be made. Week 2 is optimizing your blog. Blogs get found online way more than websites. So this class alone is like really valuable, I think, because you'll learn a lot more of what I showed you guys today. You'll learn about how making it part of your daily workflow. Week 3 is all about link backs, how to get featured online, how to get some online press, and get some authority websites to link back to you, making you look awesome in front of Google. And number 4 is just tracking our efforts. How can we, it's like Google Analytics simplified and other things that I recommend, because Google Analytics can be a little crazy for me and stuff. So for my first boot camp, I've had someone who's actually a straight competitor for me, lives in my county in New Jersey. And when she told me this, I was super excited for her. She got her first non-word of mouth client, because for me, that's what had happened. My word of mouth clients had run out, and my brides are a little bit older. So I don't get the bridesmaids are all getting married kind of a bride. So I was extremely excited for her. got placed on the first page of Google with images within days, and within 2 weeks, people were on page of Google for their desired keyword. They also learned alternate keywords they could get great rankings from. The bootcamp for one, it's 4 weeks, and it's a Tuesday. It's an hour and a half long. They are recorded. They're available after, because obviously a lot of people, I've had people from Scotland, from Australia, from Germany. They're not going to be able to attend the live sessions necessarily, so we'll have the recordings. There's 100% money back guarantee. Like, I believe so much in the program and in the value of it that if somebody says, hey, I just don't get it, I'll give their money back. The only thing I've learned, though, is that it is a requirement for you to have fast internet. So it's not my fault if you don't have speedy internet. Also, if you're not doing the homework and the assignments, which, of course, I'm not giving a grade for, but if you're not keeping up with the class, that's really not my fault, because the class is available later. So those are the two situations that have come up, and you know what? That's a requirement. That's a given. But in any other case, if people just feel like they're not getting the value they want, 100%, here's your money back. We do also have bonus videos for the people that are in the boot camp. There is a special Google Plus community, and it's not a Facebook community, just because Google Plus is way more organized. And if you don't have a Google account, you're gonna have to create one to be able to be part of the community. What rocks in the community is that everyone helps each other. Like, you're not alone. You don't leave class like, oh my God, that was so much information. Now I have to do this. I have this homework to do, but I have a doubt. I didn't understand this. And because an hour and a half, you can only answer so much. So the education continues, and those people, they hold you accountable. We hold each other accountable in the group. And what you need, I talked about the internet, and also in the group, you get a lot of one-on-one time with me. There's awesome value. Like, again, I said there's extra videos, and I'm launching a members only area on my website where you're gonna have access to the videos and the downloads and the PDFs and the docs. There's really cool prizes too. I'm really excited that I'm sponsored by Pass and Pixify, also Business Toolkit. Adorama has some goodies, and Justin Marantz with their awesome new guide that they publish. So every week we do a prize, and there's always extra goodies and bonuses. And the price of the class is, let me see here, it's $157. It's a one-time fee. I realize that is an investment, but just if you were to hire me a la carte to optimize your blog with page titles and plugins, and to go back to old blog posts and optimize that, which you will learn just in class 2, that costs $400. So I feel like I'm giving as much value as possible. If somebody is struggling financially, just email me. Like, I'm so honored and excited to share with you, because I want you to get found. I want you to book more clients. I don't want you to stress. I want people to live their dreams and, and have the balance that they also need to live their life and do other things. So you can find more info if you have any other questions, and you can actually ask me any questions about the bootcamp or just about what we talked about in this webinar too. It is, of course, I can't let everyone join. There is limited space available, and the registration will be open until Thursday at 3 p.m. So I will be also sending out a newsletter with information. If you know anyone that would like to join, that would be great. The Google Plus community is private, so if you want more information, you go to getfoundwithfuse.com, and on top you're going to see a little thing called Bootcamp, or it's /SEO Bootcamp. Any questions about the webinar or about the class? This is, do you talk about Google AdWords at all? How do you feel about that? Google AdWords, Darcy, do you mean paid? I don't do any paid. I'm not going to talk about paid PPC and SEM stuff, but we are going to use the Google AdWords free tool to make a bigger list of keywords and to be a base for a whole SEO strategy, if that answers your question. How many people in class? The last one I had about 38. This one I'm going to limit to 30 max. Yes, paid. Yeah, I don't really get into the paid, because all the things I've done have been free, and it works. And it's, it's work, as you guys can see. I take extra things, but it works. I am going to WPPI, and I'm going to have a really cool, I'm hoping to have a cool meetup from the folks from my first boot camp and the folks from my new boot camp. So the boot camp does start, it starts next week, because I'm all about, like, my motto this year, guys. It's like, done is better than perfect. I'm all about doing. This boot camp is not like inspire, fluff, like, oh yes, let's do this. It is like, get it done, girlfriend, because you got to get found. You know what I'm saying? It is like, go out there and get it. And yes, it's a little ghetto personality comes with it too. Because, like, it's so easy to sign up for all these things and not get it done. That's why I feel like there's also a lot of value, because I really inspire you to do and to put it into action. And the more action you do, the better it is. So yes, there'll be a little cool meetup during Vegas, and I'm excited to be there. So the class starts next Tuesday, February 26th. Of course, the week of WPPI, we won't have it, but the dates and the course content is found on the page, so you guys could check it out for yourself. Thanks, Kathleen. My style, my little ghetto style. I like to have a little humor, right? Keep it real, not too stuffy. That's right. And I'm excited to see you in Vegas. Any other questions about today and about just connecting with new venues and vendors, or about the boot camp? So perfect timing. We've got 2 minutes left. So if you guys need to go, that's great. Thank you so much for joining me today. And again, I do share a lot of information on my new website and also with my newsletter and stuff. I'm always giving tips away, and I'm hoping to start this new project called Keyword Friday, where I'm going to be sharing some interesting keywords with the World Wide Web. Thanks, guys, for joining me. Let me see here. Yay, Elizabeth. I'll see you Sunday. Oh, Kristen figured out Google Plus. Yes. Thank you, Kristen. Thanks, girls. All right, guys. Take care. Yes, thank you for reminding me. Sunday, I do have an in-person workshop, and it's going to be awesome. It's in Highland, New York, and it's the only tri-state area workshop that I am doing. The workshop in person is more expensive, but you do get a lot of one-on-one time with me, and a few other goodies as well. And if you want to know about that workshop, you can email me and I'll send you the information. And it's this Sunday, the 24th, in Highland, New York, which is about 2 hours away from me. So it's a little trip if you live in New Jersey, but it's really the only local workshop I'll be doing, because I'm taking it on the road later this year. Any other questions? The bootcamp, Jessica, yeah, Get Found with Fuse is the website.com, and then there's a little thing called bootcamp on top, a tab, and you can just click there so you can find out the exact course content. Twitter winner will be announced later. I have to go and do the randomizer thing. So you have 2 minutes left to tweet away. All right, guys? And I'm excited to see who wins, because it's going to be fun, give you some fun information. And I'm going to check out your website too. It's another thing that happens a lot in the boot camp. We do website and blog reviews. Like I say, website Sarge is coming, and people get ready. All right, thank you, guys. That's a wrap. Have an awesome day, and I'll send out the recording for this webinar a little bit later today. Thanks.